I was in the observation bay, calibrating the station's new interstellar relay when I accidentally triggered the gravity field in reverse. The module lurched, sending me sliding across the floor like some slapstick cartoon character. I ended up tangled in a cable, arms flailing, as the new crew watched in horror and amusement. I groaned, trying to disentangle myself, and that's when I heard it. A soft, melodic laugh unlike anything human. I looked up and froze. She was sitting cross-legged on the observation platform, legs folded with perfect grace. Her skin shimmered in an iridescent teal, and her eyes, large, reflective, almost liquid, studied me with an intensity that made my stomach twist. "You're clumsy," she said. Her voice was musical, each syllable vibrating faintly in the air, a natural resonance that humans couldn't replicate. I can explain," I stammered, trying to regain some semblance of dignity. She tilted her head, her tendrils shifting in amusement. "No need. I've seen enough humans to know your species is unpredictable." That was the first awkward moment. The second came when I tried to help her with a minor navigation glitch in her personal shuttle and accidentally reset her thrusters, sending her spinning in zero-G for a few terrifying seconds. She barely reacted, except for that same smirk and a whisper. "You really can't keep out of trouble, can you?" By the time I returned to my quarters, I realized I had made a lasting impression, though not the one I had hoped for. The middle, growing tension. Over the next few weeks, I worked alongside Ilyna for various maintenance checks. Each interaction became a delicate dance between embarrassment and fascination. Every time I tried to appear competent, some small disaster would occur. Once, I misread a control panel and triggered the station's emergency lights in the middle of her demonstration. She floated toward me, eyes narrowing slightly. "Do you do this for entertainment, or is it accidental?" "I swear it's accidental," I shouted, ducking as a panel door swung past my head. Her laughter rang like bells, and I wanted to crawl into a corner and disappear. But that only seemed to amuse her further. Despite, or perhaps because of, the constant mishaps, I found myself thinking about her constantly. She was brilliant, curious, and far more perceptive than any human I had met. Her humor was subtle, her intelligence sharp, and her patience, though limited with me, was remarkable. However, every time I imagined a moment of normal conversation, I was reminded of my previous failures. Every slip, every misstep, every minor catastrophe seemed to lodge itself firmly in her memory. And she never let it go. The first confrontation. The pivotal moment came during a station-wide systems audit. Ilyna and I were tasked with synchronizing a new series of sensors across the outer ring. I, of course, had misread a calibration sequence, causing a minor but spectacular overload. Lights flashed, alarms blared, and I spun around to see her staring at me, arms crossed, tendrils raised, glowing faintly in irritation. "This is why I said humans are chaotic," she said, her voice low, almost teasing. "Yet somehow, I must rely on you for critical systems." Fascinating. It was a mistake. I can fix it." "No," she interrupted sharply. "You will admit your failure and remember it. Perhaps then you will stop repeating it." I opened my mouth, but she floated closer, eyes narrowing, and I froze. "You see," she whispered, "I never forget. And you, human, have given me many moments to remember." Her words made my chest tighten. Somehow, my embarrassment felt permanent, indelible, like a mark on my very being. The turning point. Unexpected bonding. Despite the constant teasing, something shifted over time. I began to notice her in moments of quiet observation. She was fascinated by the way humans solved problems creatively, often improvising in ways her species would never consider. She had a dry, subtle sense of humor that often only revealed itself when I failed spectacularly, laughing softly to herself when no one else could hear. We spent hours discussing station architecture, alien navigation, and the differences in human and Illyrian logic. Slowly, the embarrassment became a bridge, not a barrier. She remembered everything, not to humiliate me, but to understand me. One night, as we worked on an energy conduit, I accidentally dropped a tool into the void outside the station. I froze, expecting her scorn. Instead, she tilted her head and said quietly, "You always find a way to surprise me, even when you fail." For the first time, her gaze held something beyond judgment or amusement. I realized she genuinely appreciated my persistence, my humanity, the climax, confession, and resolution. Weeks later, we were alone in the observation bay, surrounded by the glittering expanse of the sector. I had been avoiding her teasing, trying to maintain a semblance of dignity, but I couldn't ignore my feelings any longer. "Ilyna, there's something I need to tell you," I said, voice trembling slightly. I like you. More than a colleague. More than just admiration." Her tendrils twitched in surprise, her luminous eyes widening. She said nothing. For several excruciating moments, the station seemed to hold its breath. Then, slowly, a smile curved her features. She drifted closer. "So, all those awkward moments, my reminders, my insistence on remembering?" "Yes," I admitted. "Every single one." She laughed softly, a sound that felt like starlight filling the empty bay. "You have no idea how long I have been waiting for you to say that. I only pretended to keep score. In truth, I was hoping you'd finally notice me in a different way." I blinked. "You mean all the embarrassment?" "All part of the dance," she said, her tendrils brushing gently against my arm. "You have learned to endure it, and I have learned to trust you. That is how we begin." Her words were a mixture of teasing and sincerity, just as she had always been. The awkwardness that had defined our interactions transformed into something new: connection, trust, and a shared understanding. The ending: harmony after chaos. From that moment onward, our work together became something extraordinary. Ilyna still teased me mercilessly, but now it was accompanied by a warmth I had never felt before. Every minor disaster, every slip, became a shared memory, a private joke between us. By the time our assignment on Xylar Station ended, I realized something profound. Sometimes, embarrassment is not a weakness. Sometimes, it is the bridge that allows two very different beings to understand one another. As we floated side by side in zero gravity, looking out at the endless stars, Ilyna leaned close. "Remember," she said, smirking, "I will never let you forget any of this." "I wouldn't have it any other way," I replied, smiling despite myself. And so, amidst the chaos of my mistakes and the endless teasing, something remarkable had grown. An unexpected bond between a human and an alien, forged through laughter, error, and the courage to admit our true feelings. Even now, years later, I think back to that first awkward slip in the observation bay and realize that sometimes the moments we dread the most are the ones that shape our lives forever.